How y'all folks doing tonight? It's finally my time of year. I'm out here down in the edge of the woods here behind the house, my little quiet place. Got me a fire going. I want to talk to you fellers and fellerettes about something. A lot of it's got to do with stubborn opinions. Opinions don't always make us right, but we think it does sometimes. Everything from your favorite outdoor gear to your favorite knives to your favorite guns to your favorite football team. Our opinions always got to be right. In all actuality, sometimes it's what's best for you. Like, what's the best way to defend yourself against wild animals? Like a bear. Some of us will never know what it's like to defend ourselves against a bear or wolf or something, but we like to pretend we do. This little talk's about a fella who defied the odds, went totally old school, and defended himself against a Kodiak bear with a pocket knife. Conversation sitting around a fire on a chilly night, just BSing, so to speak. I got one subscriber, a little whippersnapper, says he loves to watch videos with a rambling old man. Let's do some rambling. This is a picture of Mr. Gene Moe, and as you can tell, he's not an Olympic athlete or a UFC fighter. But he did manage to kill a bear with his bare hands and a pocket knife. Pocket knife just like this one. Coffee's starting to perk. Let's get into this. It'll be a fun little talk. Now let me tell y'all something. I'm not an authority on anything. This is basically just a little video, like we're sitting around a campfire, chewing the fat. And yeah, you'll find that out. I am far from being an expert on anything except inhaling smoke from a campfire. And I hope you guys enjoy this. And yeah, let's get started with this thing. I might need some resuscitation here in a minute. It's just talking opinions, folks. Don't nobody get butt hurt. I promise I'm not mentally ill. I'll have to listen for them and make those squeaky sounds and pull coyotes closer. But do crazy people know they're crazy? Maybe we're all crazy. They won't come near this cod roaster I got here. And if they do, I'll probably miss them all. Yeah, I absolutely love this. And if they do decide they want to F around and find out, a little bit of buckshot persuasion will help them out. Am I scared? No. I've seen coyotes come in the yard before. They've taken chickens off and things, but they've never messed with me. So I try to get them close enough to listen to them good, because it's cool. And of course, like always, I failed to catch the eyeballs in the daggum flashlight for the camera. You see, Mr. Gene Moe and his hunting party had an agreement that if they heard one of the other ones shoot, that they would come help them up, process what they'd shot and whatnot. That way, one person could be field dressing and skinning out and starting to quarter up and everything, and the others could be watching his back, because it was in the middle of bear country. So Mr. Gene Moe shot his blacktail, had it on the ground. He waited. Nobody came. He waited some more. Nobody came. So he checked the area out real good, and decided everything was safe. He could see pretty well in every direction. So he started the task of field dressing his deer and getting its skin out, getting it ready to haul out. Well, just as luck would have it, he gets done field dressing his deer and he starts skinning it out, and he hears a commotion, sticks crashing and the wood's coming to life and everything, and he wheels around and he sees a big old Kodiak bear bearing down on him. No pun intended. I'm quite sure Mr. Moe and his friends had those arguments around the breakfast table at the Waffle House before about, oh, what's the best thing to have on you in case of a bear attack? And just like everybody, 10,000 videos on YouTube. Oh, well, you need to make sure you have a sidearm. Okay, well, what sidearm? Oh, it's got to be a 44 Magnum. Next, people say, oh, no, you don't want a 44 Magnum, you only got 6 rounds. You want a 10 millimeter. Then you hear the Park Service and all the eco people say, oh, you don't need to be carrying a gun. You just need to have a tube of pepper spray. No. Well, the one thing that'll screw up all your best laid plans is a thing called real life. And real life screwed up their plans that day. Well, you see, Mr. Moe, he didn't have any time to think. This bear was on him before he knew what was happening. So he's got his arms covered in blood. You know what it's like when you field dress an animal. And the only thing he's got on him is not a 44 Magnum. It's not a 10 millimeter. It's not even his rifle that was leaned up against a tree over yonder. It was his buck 110 knife he was field dressing that deer with. So now we all know in the knife community that you can't kill a Kodiak bear with a buck 110, because it's got to have magna cut, or it's got to be CPM something, because that 420 blade ain't gonna do it. You better not try to protect yourself with something that's not magna cut. Well, Mr. Moe was not a young man. He was an older feller. And when that bear jumped on him, he commenced to letting him have it with that buck 110 over and over and over and over. And he killed that bear with that buck 110, a Kodiak Brown Bear. And this is the buck 110 he used, still with the hair. It's on museum display up yonder in Alaska. So is the point of this thing, is the whole point of it so I can say, hey, this is how you need to protect yourself against the bear. That's not the point. The point is that when real life comes, you use what's at your disposal. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think that bear would have known the difference if it was a buck 110 or if it was a $1,000 Magna Cut knife. I like when I get to start a fire and think about things, and I was just reading about this incident, and I thought, man, that dude had it. He was a man's man. He was an older feller, but he got her done. And he got her done with what he knew and what he had. And I imagine if I was going to Alaska on Kodiak Island to hunt Sitka white-tailed deer, and I had my buck 110 on me in case I had to skin an animal, it's probably gonna be sharp, even if it's not Magna Cut. Now, I don't pretend to know everything about every firearm that's ever been made. I don't pretend to be an expert at protecting yourself against bears or wolves or lions or Cape Buffalo or whatever. I don't pretend to know everything about knife steel. But I do know what works for me. And I'm not sure that the Magna Cut's not a better steel. But that bear don't know it. It's not to down anything. My point here in this little campfire conversation Just do you, boo-boo. If it works for you, run with it. Don't try to hang out with the Joneses. If you feel comfortable with what you're doing, and you got a 44 Magnum and you shoot it pretty good, well, might be you don't need 12 or 13 rounds. If you got a buck 10 that you've used for 20, 25 years, field dressing game, and you're familiar with that knife, and you know that knife, and you trust that knife, and it's sharp, maybe you don't need a $1,000 Magnum cut knife. Ain't nothing wrong with having one. They're cool. I love wintertime. I get back around my fires. I throw my old winter hat on. And I love this hat. It's lined with down. And it's warm and it's chilly out here tonight. I'm not too chilly right here where I'm at. The frost is starting to settle around in places where it's open. There ain't no frost around this fire. I'm snug as a bug in a rug. Well, I know different people are gonna think of this different ways. Some people are gonna think, oh, he's bashing Magna Cut. He can't afford Magna Cut. If I wanted it, I could probably afford Magna Cut, or whatever super steel of the day is. But it's kind of like, you know, it's really good, and I'll take people's word for it. I've got a couple of S30V and S35VN and different steel knives, Spydercos and SOGs and things, and they're really good knives. But at the same time, I got a buck 110 that's pretty freaking sharp. You know what? I bet if that old bear Mr. Moe killed had it to do over again, he'd have made a little bit wider berth around him. You know it? Maybe he thought, hey, he don't have a Magna Cut knife. I'm gonna go eat him. I don't know. Hunting industry, the firearms industry, the cutlery industry, they're all out there. They're trying to sell stuff. That's the name of the game. That's how to make a living. That's how to pay their employees. And to be honest with you, a lot, I would say the bulk of content you see on YouTube is based around that too. They're pushing products. And I would love to be able to interview some of these guys. And, you know, the guy, oh, you got a Taurus. Well, I got a Smith 629, and it's a whole lot better than that Taurus. I wonder how many of them people with that 629s ever shot a bear, or anything for that fact. Truth is, as long as it's accurate and it goes boom when you squeeze the trigger, I don't give a crap if it's yellow and says Dollar General on the side of it. We all like what we like, and that's pretty much the bottom line. And if you like what you own, and maybe you can't afford nicer stuff, or maybe you can afford nicer stuff, but you're still happy either way, don't let the pressure of this BS industry screw you over. If you have a need, and you can name a need you have for a Magna Cut knife, or that $1,500 Colt Anaconda instead of the Taurus, well, get it if that's what you want. But I guarantee you, if you got the Taurus, you got a buck 110, you got a Savage instead of that $1,500 rifle, you're probably gonna be okay. Be like Mr. Gene Moe. You know, he's of one of those generations where, you know, men are men. You know, not one where men think they have babies. Got about a half pot of coffee left. I'm gonna sit out here. Well, hopefully the coyotes come back, because it's kind of fun listening to them. And I'm gonna drink coffee and enjoy this chilly night. And until I get to see you guys again, and peace and God bless.
That's all, folks.